Oh hi. Liechtenstein, the dwarfish state. 160 km. In Western Europe associated with Switzerland. The name of the principality comes from a ruling dynasty Liechtenstein. A background Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein now, one of 3 states of the world having the name given in honor of a ruling dynasty along with the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan. In power there is a dynasty Hashemite and the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a dynasty of Saudis. The state capital, Vaduz. Borders on Austria in the east and Switzerland in the west. His territory is completely surrounded with territories of these states. The form of government, the dualistic monarchy. Body of the constitutional supervision, the National Court of Justice. The highest judicial authority, the Supreme Court of Justice. Courts of the Court of Appeal -1 Supreme Court. Courts of First Instance -1 Land Court. Courts of Administrative Justice, Administrative Courts of Justice. Without being a dick of either the European Union or NATO, Liechtenstein is included into the European Economic Area. Participant of the Schengen Agreement. The territory of Liechtenstein from 15th year BB was included into the Roman province of Rhetian. Franks intruded in the country in 536. Later, Charles the Great, from a position of the governor the bishop was displaced, and began to appoint secular governors to this position. The area was under the power of Carlovingians till 911 when the East Frankish kingdom broke up to big and small duchies. Within the Duchy of Swabia and the territory of present Liechtenstein there were feudal possessions Schellenberg and Vaduz, which was then a part of the Sacred Roman Empire. In 1507 the Emperor Maximilian granted to Vaduz the special rights and privileges, including sovereignty and taxation. These rights were transferred to the Austrian Liechtensteiner family. Rod Liechtensteiner very much wanted to receive the seat in the Reichstag of the Sacred Roman Empire. For this purpose he had to own lands which sovereign would be directly emperor. For the sake of it Hans Adam I got from impoverished owners of Honen's 2 tiny feuds on border with Switzerland, Schellenberg in 1699 and Vaduz in 1712. These lands had a necessary legal status. Thanks to Evgeny Savoyski's assistance, who had to the Prince to Liechtenstein the matchmaker. In 1719 the Emperor recognized the head of family, Anton Florian, the Prince of Sovereign Advantage. So there was the Principality of Liechtenstein. From 1815 to 1866 Liechtenstein was a part of the German Union, and in 1860 Liechtenstein became hereditary dix of the upper house of the Austrian Parliament, and in 1866 as a result of disintegration of the German Union, at Johann II Liechtenstein. 1840-1929. The Principality found full independence. In Austro-Prussian War of 1866 Liechtenstein acted as the ally of Austria, from 1876 to 1918 had close ties with Austria-Hungary. After World War I Liechtenstein dissolved the contract with Austria and was reoriented on Switzerland. In 1921 the Agreement on Trade and Post Service was signed. In 1924 the Customs Union is concluded. Since then currency of Liechtenstein is the Swiss franc. Since 1919 Switzerland represents the diplomatic and consular interests of Liechtenstein abroad. During World War II the Principality observed a neutrality. In 1975 Liechtenstein enters OSCE, in 1978 in the Council of Europe, in 1990 in the Union, in 1991 the European Free Trade Association, on December 19, 2011, the Schengen area. In 2020 the authorities of Liechtenstein officially demanded from the Czech Republic to return 2,000 km. With the city of Valtice and the village of Lednitz and also Lux which are earlier belonging to ruling party. The principality is in spurs of the Alps, the highest point Mount Grashitz. 2599 m. By the western part of the country one of the largest rivers of Western Europe, Rhine flows. A temperate climate, rainfall of 700–1200 m a year. About a quarter of the territory is covered with the woods. A fir tree, a beech and oak. In mountains, subalpine and alpine meadows. Liechtenstein, the unitary state with the dualistic monarchy. The existing constitution came into force on October 5, 1921. The head of state, Hans Adam II, the Prince a background Liechtenstein, the Duke Troppau and Egerndorf, the Count Rittberg. Actually I ran the country since 1984, and I came to the throne on November 13, 1989. The Prince exercises government, vises the acts adopted Landtag. Parliament. Represents Liechtenstein in relationship with other states, appoints public servants, has pardon rights. As a result of the constitutional referendum of 2003 the Prince received very large powers, including the right to veto any bills and decisions of referenda, to dismiss the government, to appoint and remove members of the government, to individually adopt especially important laws and to appoint judges. Thus, the power of the Prince became close to absolute. The attempt to limit powers of the Prince and to cancel his veto on decisions of a referendum wasn't supported on the constitutional referendum of 2012. Legislature, which consists of 25 deputies elected by a direct ballot on the system of proportional representation. 15 deputies from Oberland and 10 deputies from Unterland. For a period of 4 years. Executive body, the government. Regierung. Consisting of the government chief. Regierungschef. And government advisors. Regierungsrat. 5 parties, from them 2 main liberal, conservative progressive civil party. Volksliche Bürgerpartei Eberp. And the Patriotic Union. Vaterlandische Union VU. And 3 small, the Free List. Free List Lorida. The left-wing social and ecological party and also right-centrist independent. Diana Panjagandu, which in 2018 were divided into 2 parts work in the country. The Police of Liechtenstein. German of Landespolizei. Total 120 employees serving in criminal police, security police and road control and in coordination service. Besides there are municipal police. The Principality refused armed forces in 1868. The provision on a compulsory military service, however, is enshrined in the Constitution. In 2004, Liechtenstein signed a contract on expansion of European Economic Area with the European Union. Long-time signing of the contract was postponed owing to entry into the EU in 2004 of the Czech and Slovak republics. The Czech Republic and Slovakia refused to recognize Liechtenstein as the state because of unresolved questions of property of the ruling princely house. Under Beneš's decrees, the property German, including also Austrian and Liechtenstein, private and legal entities in the territory of Czechoslovakia was expropriated by this state. On September 8, 2009, between the Czech Republic and Liechtenstein, the contract on cooperation was signed that marked diplomatic recognition of Liechtenstein by the Czech Republic. In December of the same year, the similar contract with Slovakia was signed. The Principality has the embassies in the USA, Germany, Belgium. At the same time represents Liechtenstein in Vatican and is a mission at the European Union, Switzerland and Austria. In other states, the interests of Liechtenstein are represented by embassies of the Swiss Confederation. Liechtenstein consists of two historically developed administrative parts: Oberland, the top Liechtenstein, with the center in the city of Vaduz, and Unterland, the lower Liechtenstein, with the center in the city of Schellenberg. The Principality of Liechtenstein is divided into 11 municipal districts, communes. Areas consist of 2 or 1 villages. There are no real cities in the country. 5 communes are in borders of the constituency the Lower Liechtenstein, remain 6 belong to the Top Liechtenstein. The population for December 10, 2020, 38590, average population density about 235, 64 people on km. Birth rate -9.75 newborns on 1,000 people, 2009. Mortality -7.39 on 1,000 people. Infantile mortality -4.25 on 1,000 newborns. Immigration -4.66 for 1,000. Annual increase in population -0.7%, 2009. Annual increase in population -0.894%, 2011. Annual increase in population -0.985%, 2012. Average life expectancy: men -79.8 years, women -84.8 years, 2018. The most part of inhabitants, the German origin. Almansky nationality. Close to the population of Switzerland, Burgenland, southwest Germany and Alsace. Aboriginals make 66%, foreigners -34% of 13,000 people. Most of foreigners from neighboring states. Swisses, the Austrians and Germans, -20%, 7.4 thousand. And also Italians, 1.2 thousand. Portuguese, Turks, on 0.7 thousand. Albanians and other. The most part of the Middle Ages, the Romance, which by the 12th, 15th centuries is pushed aside by an Almansky adverb, prevailed. Minorities of recent origin, natives of Turkey, the former Yugoslavia, Albania, typical for neighboring countries, etc., make about 10% of the population. As of 2019, by estimates of the Union, immigrants, 67% of the population of the country lived in Liechtenstein. Official language, German, in life an Almansky dialect of German. Most of believers, 76%. Profess Catholicism, Protestants and Orthodox Christians, about 10% of the population. The number of Muslims, 5.4%. Generally Turkish, Albanian and Bosnian origin grows. 5 largest settlements, 2013. Sang -59.33. Vaduz -52.29. Dryzen -49.33. -45.39. Eschen -42.84. Liechtenstein, the prospering industrial country with the developed sector of financial services and the high standard of living. The 19th place by the Index of Human Development. GDP of Liechtenstein in 2014 was $4.978 billion of GDP per capita in 2009, $139,000 of the USA. The first place in the world. The main branch of economy, manufacturing industry. Metalworking, exact instrument making, optics, production of the vacuum equipment, electronic systems, microprocessors. The basis of the industry is made exact machine, also by instrument making. The major companies are Hilti AG. The fixing, small-sized construction equipment with autonomous food. And Orlikon Balzers Coating AG. Services and the equipment for mechanical engineering in drawing were proof thin film coverings by PV method. The industry is almost completely focused on export. The important place is taken food and flavoring. In particular, production of canned food and wines. Textile, ceramic and pharmaceutical industry. With development of manufacturing industry and growth of business activity, human resources of Liechtenstein ceased to satisfy labor demand. About 32.4 thousand people are engaged in different spheres of economy, at the same time more than a third from them, 9,000 people, daily comes to work from Austria, Switzerland and Germany. In the industrial sector 43% working or engaged, in services sector of 55%, in agriculture, less than 2%. Considerable source of income of the population and treasury is foreign tourism and also release of stamps. Agriculture specializes in the basic and pasturable livestock production of a meat and milk profile. 75% of agricultural products. Grow up grain crops, potatoes and vegetables. Winemaking is traditionally developed. The foothills and the lower slopes of mountains are busy with gardens and vineyards. From local grades of grapes produce high quality wines. The country has an effective banking system. The total balance amount about 32.5 billion Swiss francs. The largest banks: National Bank, Liechtensteiner Global Trust, Verwaltungs and Private Bank. Since 2005 has representation in Moscow. Thanks to low taxes on the placed capital and profit and also strictly protected bank secrecy, Liechtenstein reserves position of large financial center. Banks of Liechtenstein got under criticism after in February 2008 the dispute with data of several honored citizens of the Federal Republic of Germany suspected of evasion from taxes by money transfer to accounts of various funds in Liechtenstein was at the disposal of Prosecutor's Office of Germany. Along with Monaco and Andorra, the Principality of Liechtenstein is included into the list of tax havens, the states where residents of other countries avoid taxation. More than 73.7 thousand international concerns and the foreign companies are registered in the territory of Liechtenstein because of the low level of taxation, simple rules of registration and for preservation of a financial secret. The budget of the state consists mainly of taxes, including from these companies. About 30%. Income from release of stamps. 10%. And foreign tourism. Export in 2008, $2.47 billion. In structure of export, precision instruments, electronics, stamps, ceramics prevail. Export goes generally to EU countries and Switzerland. Import in 2008, $0.92 billion. The machine equipment, metal products, textiles, food, cars appear in structure of import. The main partners in import EU countries and Switzerland. Because of the small size, Liechtenstein underwent influence of external culture and especially that which is widespread in the southern German-speaking regions of Europe, including Austria, Bavaria, Switzerland in particular, Tyrol and Vorarlberg. Historical Society of the Principality of Liechtenstein plays an important role in preservation of culture and the history of the country. Art Museum of Liechtenstein, the largest international museum of modern art with valuable collections of works. Constructions of the Swiss architects Morger, Degello and Keras are an important milestone of development of Vaduz. His construction was completed in November 2000, which architecture was made in the form of a black box of black basalt. National collections of works of art of Liechtenstein are also stored in the museum. Other considerable museum is the National Museum of Liechtenstein. Liechtensteinisches Landesmuseum, in which constant expositions on the cultural and natural history of Liechtenstein and also special exhibitions are exposed. There are also a Museum of the Press and the Museum of Skis. The most known historical sites are the Vaduz Loch, the Loch Gutenberg, the Red House and Schellenberg's ruins. Music and theatre are an important part of culture. The set of the musical organizations, for example, the Liechtenstein Musical Company, Annualité of a Guitar and the International Society of Joseph Gabriel Reinberger, which is based in two main theatres, is presented. Private collection of art of Prince of Liechtenstein, one of the world's leading private collections of the works of art shown in the Palace Liechtenstein in Vienna. Amateur radio, a hobby of some citizens and visitors. However, unlike almost all other sovereign nations, Liechtenstein has no own number mies. He uses the signal prefixes of Switzerland. Is a rule, Vada. Following 0. Holidays. On January 1, New Year. On January 6, Epiphany. On March 19, Day of Saint Joseph. On May 1, the Labor Day. On August 15, National Day, anniversary of finding of sovereignty. On September 8, Blessed Virgin's Christmas of Maria. On November 1, All Saints' Day. On December 25, Christmas. On December 26, Day of Saint Stephen. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.